Where in God's name are we now? Place looks like it burned down.
That did not go the way I expected.
Something here isn't right.
The sooner we get away from here, the better I'll feel.
Like he had to come to terms with the fact that he was a dipshit. And now maybe he has this opportunity to kind of go, all right, I have to do it. I have to take one for the team, you know? Goddamn. It's not over yet, though. We know this. We know this. Oh! What? The new game, maybe? Promotional unlock. Wait, what? Marine Sarge? Was that a reference to another life? That was a whole new character. Dude. Shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy. Wait, did they put us, like, literally into a scenario where we don't... Oh, never mind. Like, that's all we could check? Oh. No, see, I don't want to inspect things that could, like, they feel like they could get me killed. Do you know what I mean? Like, why would I inspect that? I'm going to get something to the face. That just feels like a dumb idea. But I know I'm probably missing stuff. Or maybe it's like a good thing. Like, I needed to do it. No? I don't care. Let Hark do it. Okay, so the... Echo. Okay. So she's talking... That was the beginning scene. Yeah, but that could be someone else from some other timeline. That's like, who knows? A bunch of things happening right here, man. I want to see Hark. Check that window. Go ahead. Go. Bud, did you check the window? Check the window, bud. We could check that side right there, too. No, fuck no. Fuck no. Come on. Dude, are you doing it? I don't want to do it. No, this feels like a bad... Whoa.
You're gonna want to see this. Is this for real? Angela and I were married.
Oh, they're crushing the debris. Hello. No? Why would you do this? No, Hark, you check it. I wonder if Hark's just behind me. He's like, dude, none of us are checking this. We're going to get stuck in the door like chumps. I will not refuse. Oh, I checked that. Wait. So we're back. We've gone in a circle. They're making us check. I think neither of us is checking. Hold on, we can go upstairs. Let's go upstairs. Nope, Hark, don't push me against the wall, man. What's wrong with you? Right here. Right. Oh, what's this one? Oh. Right here. Hark, there's a door here. Oh. Oh, no. I guess I'm going to do it. Fine. Stupid. This is stupid. I'm out. I'm done. What's this? Am I doing this? I can't get out. What are you doing? No way. It's like they persist as long as you're alive through the entire game. You have to be kidding me. Hark didn't see that. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Stop. 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 Guessing there's always another. Ooh, the key though. The key, take the key. That's probably important. Grandfather clock. No? Not important. Okay. What's this? Open? What's wrong with you? Wait a minute. This and this. How do we get in there? Okay, let's go slowly. Oh. Wait. What? Oh my god. Oh my god, what? Oh my god. You probably have to go out and in. $100%. I'm not going up there. Oh, the stairs. I think we missed a whole section because of that, possibly. I'm going up. I'm going up. I don't care what Hark's doing. I'm going up.
What was that? What's that noise?
My guess is the girl. We need to find her.
Screw it. The stuff will up. Who cares? Maybe there was another room. I don't care. I don't care. I'm good. See Hark's playthrough or someone else's. I'm good.
She's in here. What do you think you're doing? It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Mm-hmm. I just had a feeling about him.
Don't be fooled by her, Andrew.
Let go of me! Andrew! We are all gathered here in one place again. I am filled with dread at the purpose.
I assure all gathered here today that our town will be free of the devil's grasp. Together, by God's grace, little hope will prevail. My word on it.
This court is hastily convened, but with good reason. If we are to finally rid ourselves of the evil which has infested Little Hope, then we must act today.
I don't know.
I accuse you, Mary, of witchcraft. What say you, Reverend?
The evidence, as discovered through my investigation, is beyond question. Mary uses her puppet as a familiar to summon and serve the devil.
We have been deceived by a child, by her guise of innocence. This puppet was mistakenly used to denounce Tabitha, but it has always belonged to Mary and Mary alone. She allowed her own kin to be executed as she watched in silence.
That is not so! Liar!
Now this tainted child, this creature of Satan, has the marrow to accuse me, a man of God, of wrongdoing.
Andrew, these people have lost.
Yeah, but it's gonna like affirm
This is
something, you know.
collective
There's not.
hysteria, paranoia. We've got to intervene. Stop this somehow.
There
If
is.
you have my intention to bring harm to this town, or its people, then you not help me.
What can I do?
This is happening
If
in
I
a
could do
John
something
scene.
to stop this,
I
I
thought-
would, but
Now in her hour of greatest need,
I don't
this
see
child
how.
of the damned pleads once more for the
Wait.
devil's help.
I beg the court's indulgence. Please guide me at this time.
Oh my gosh.
I seek your counsel.
Oh my gosh. Oh, nice. Jesus.
We have to stop this. The only madness is right here in this court. Carver, he's the evil one.
We have been swayed by malice. The truth hidden from us, but not by Mary. Reverend Carver
Yes.
is the one urging us to believe in the devil.
Be silent.
This is all
You'll
his
not deceive
doing.
us any longer. Your true purpose is plain to see. I will see this town purged of all evil.
Listen to him. Carver's the one to blame.
What must I do
Rational
to bring
mind
this law
achievement.
back into the line? I fear the Reverend and what he is capable of.
My hands are so clammy. Right
You
now.
have to stop Carver.
Disgusting.
It's him, don't you get it? He's condemning Mary to take the heat off himself. I know what must be done here.
Oh my gosh. Burn it? Are we gonna burn the entire place down? Or just like a straight up
Be
stabby
still.
stab?
What is the meaning of this outrage?
Oh. Oh, what are you saying?
What I have just learned sickens me to my core.
Oh, the other thing that was he was hiding?
There are serious questions which must be asked of you.
The other thing, quote unquote? Oh, the Bible with the...
How can a man of God
That was-
conduct himself in such a way? Mary, your suffering is at an end. You are free to leave.
Fools! Misled by a child! Do you not see what she is? The truth stares at you from the depths of hell, yet you see nothing. The devil's daughter has deceived you all. Not
I don't know,
me.
man. This thing is
I
can
see
curveball us at any
I
moment, you know.
see her. Satan's whore. You will pay heavily for your crimes. I was one
I mean,
of the
this
first
guy's
to
that
fall
it
under
feels
your
too
spell.
obvious. To,
Now
I
all
mean,
of
not too
Little
obvious.
Hope
I'm
is
saying
mesmerized by you.
I
he's
know
obvi-
the words.
he's obviously a chump,
Without you, I would be dead.
but
You saved me. I shall remember you all
I
my
wonder if this
days.
game makes you feel however you choose. It makes you kind of I don't know, like affirms it, you know.
But I didn't save you.
Oh, so that was the Andrew survives, the house burns, and that, not Mary, whatever the
I
Martha
gotta admit, I'm
died in
impressed.
that fire.
You made all the right moves. You called out the priest for what he really was and saved Mary.
He's been the linchpin in all this. That's
do
why
I
he's
feel
not
like I did nothing. Like none of it matters.
That's how I feel sometimes
should
when a
leave.
quick time event comes out. Over and over and over again after I've saved a character. Because he hasn't faced anything because he didn't die.
What just
He
went
doesn't
down?
have an enemy.
We all good here?
We're good.
I mean, there's two more
Thanks to
chances this can
Andrew,
go
I
south
think
though,
it's
right?
finally over.
I don't know. Well, maybe. This is happy music. Or is it? You know what I mean? He was the one regretting because he couldn't save her, maybe. That was what that line was about, maybe. Wow. How did we... Are you kidding me right now? Save him. But crying out loud, man. Oh, because we didn't investigate, we didn't smash anything, exits open? Oh no. Oh no. Sorry, Hart. But sometimes you just have to accept it. That fearful, reckless. Oh no, I did choose that reckless. You have a choice. So based on the choices you make, sometimes you're still gonna go, how did John make it? What? I wonder if that's because I wonder if it's because we didn't check any exits. We didn't unboard them, so there was no room. There was no way to flee. That's awkward. But that's just right. You know what I mean? How did John make it? How did John make it out of this? Out of all the characters, John. How? I don't understand how this game made all these decisions that just turned into this. Who saw that thing? I did. I saw the thing outside. I should have known better. God damn it, game. Epilogue. What? What?
Hey!
I'm real sorry. I know it wasn't your fault.
What the fuck? It was
Some
him.
real tough time these past years.
Just aged.
About half a mile or so, there's a diner with a working phone. You call for help and you leave this place. And don't you ever come back. Ain't nothing left here for you.
How? I'm perplexed beyond expression. I have no idea. I feel like maybe Hark did way more actions than I did. He had that one encounter to survive, you know what I mean? A one sledgehammer encounter.
Put you all through.
It's because I chose to like say run. Instead I didn't. I don't know. It was like the opposite of what he's done the entire experience, you know.
One hell of a rough
I'll talk
night.
about that with Hark.
More than anyone.
He
That's
came
gonna
to
haunt me
terms with
forever.
that.
You're
That
not
suit.
alone there.
Take it easy on
We've all
yourself.
been through
You know
hell.
that, right?
We're finally getting out of this hell.
Blame yourself.
What?
I
What
just wish
happened?
we all could have made it.
Wait. What?
We're diverting all traffic through Little Hope.
Wait. I'm...
You okay, buddy? You seem a little confused.
Yeah, I'm fine. I just
Anthony.
want to get these folks to where they need to be.
I doubt a short delay will trouble him too much.
It was a nightmare? It was all in his head. It was the regrets. He's playing out the regrets.
Can everyone just shut up? This isn't helping us find help or getting us out of here.
That's messed up.
Hi there. How you doing?
Bar?
Excuse me. But
Yeah.
we're looking for our bus driver.
What?
Have you seen him?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's funny. Sounds like you could use a drink.
Better
Interesting.
not. Thanks. I need a clear head. Anything you can do to help us would be greatly appreciated.
Oh, he held
No
back.
goddamn us.
Oh, wow. Wow. Damn. Oh god, he's shot. He could have...
Hey! You motherfucker, you! You take a goddamn shot at me? Quit hiding in there!
Hey, cool it. I was trying to help. Didn't you see that
What are
thing?
you talking about? Ain't nothing
Did
out
Hark
here.
see this?
Hey!
I don't think he gets how bad a mess we're in.
One man's head. All the voices of those that died. Forgetfulness, achievement, and strength from within. Okay. Where's this going? Okay.
Okay.
Okay then.
Hey then.
I did not expect that turn. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I was getting a little hopeful, less hopeful, a little less hope. I had no hope near the end. I was like, I can't believe how many opportunities this game is taking to remove these characters from the game for us, you know? And yeah.
And again, I might be partial, but I feel like I find myself saying, why is it always Daniel? Why
Yeah.
is it always
Yeah.
always Daniel the one?
And I'm the one controlling Daniel for those moments.
You're the one who was controlling Daniel at the end. Oh, and was
not
it
not not at the not at the end. I had no idea. That was a well, he used this. He those labels came up and then they just took him anyway. So I feel like there's a way to maybe make the right choices, and that final end doesn't happen. But that final end, the one we cannot control, that has to do with, I think, choices we make. But the one falling into the pit, like falling into the basement, it was I wanted to get out of the hole. I was like, Hark would kill me. I gotta be like crazy. I gotta like but then I'm like, watch me pull him in now because I'm being whatever the word was, right?
No, I made all of my quick times. I made all of it. And the funny thing is I made all the quick times, then it says Shay has to make a decision. And I'm like, Shay, I did it. I did all the quick times. Just it was yeah.
It was to attack. It was the heartbeat one came up for me again.
Oh gosh.
No, but for some reason I always pass with Daniel. But then it's like a constant like, oh, Daniel again. Oh, I'm controlling him again. So, like, so anyways.
So that is interesting. So the last Daniel was not the last time when Daniel died. We weren't. Neither of us were controlling him. It was just that is interesting.
I was gonna check in with you because there was points in the house where I could check the windows. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna check. No.
Oh, do you think maybe because I looked at the window?
No, because then there was one window I finally looked at and I saw that it was out there, and I was like, I'll let Hark look out the other boards and windows. I'm not because I'm gonna get stabbed in the face. Because I was controlling the character that would have been at risk. But I'm wondering if what happened is like there was one boarded area neither of us checked to unboard or something, so that maybe it would have opened up an area for him to retreat from. But then at the end of the day, I was like, I don't know. Those words came up, and the words feel like as soon as those words come up, it's like the decision's getting made.
I don't
out of our control. I just feel like it takes a bit of the steam off of like you've succeeded so much to get to that point, and you're still gonna lose the character.
Yeah. But I was like, why not John? Like
I was right at the end. I was like, how did John get out of all of this? Like he had one mallet fight.
Yeah, I was like, why Daniel over John? Like what was the reasoning behind? It seemed arbitrary that it was Daniel who got left behind. I understand Andrew getting out. Especially
because the house collapsed, and that was a John death,
That was a John death, yeah. So
like, give us the Daniel. We've passed so many times.
Just let the two. I was like, just let us have it, Daniel and Andrew. It seemed like because near the end where John was like, "Oh, you did everything right." I was like, "Okay, good. Does that mean we're done?" And I was like, "This better not be a false sense of security. This better not be a false sense of security." And then, of course, this disaster happened. I'm like, seriously, game? Like that ticked me off. That really ticked me off. Like, we did everything else. We did the quick times. We earned to save those boys.
That's the word that I would use, right? There's a point in this where you earn it, and to have the earning dissipate, and you're just like, oh my god, like.
Seriously? So that annoyed me to no end. But let's talk about the twist. Twist.
I definitely did not. There was a point I didn't consider it would go to that degree, but there was a point where he was the final scene where we were both aligning with it's not the girl. Like go after the right. Like we know this at this point. And when we came out of that scene or going into that scene, I was like, he's the only one who hasn't confronted anything about the burning. And then there was, I don't know if you caught the thing in the house where you could read it, and it said that there was one survivor. And it was Anthony.
Yeah, it was Anthony. Yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, wait. So Martha died in this fire as well. So that's where it's, Megan died in the fire.
I actually witnessed it. So I knew she died in the fire. I guess you didn't see that, but I knew that. So I thought everybody died, but
So she died how in the prologue? Like you saw her actually go down. Because you ran into the building.
I ran into the house and I saw. Yeah.
So, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that got me right to the end. All right. Huh?
Yeah. So you know how I said before that I would be disappointed if this was just all in their heads and this was just an illusion,
just another sort of nightmare.
And and I said I would not like it. I'm actually okay with this one. Okay. I'm okay with this because it's like Man of Medan, but it's not. So
and it sort of was in their heads, but it wasn't there. There was no us. Right. And my God, I heard that line in the scene, and when it happened, I was like, "What do you mean us?" Like I got confused in chapter 1 when he said that to me, and I was like, wait, was I talking about a global we? Like, I don't understand, but I let it go, you know. And then you see it in stitched together, and you're like, oh man, that's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, it's back to your point where it's like it's a nightmare in their heads, but it's one character psychology. It's multiple personality because of trauma. It actually went into a whole different layer of stuff. You know, he was the driver. Wow.
Right.
You know,
he was the driver. I was like, oh, I did not see that coming.
Aged.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the guy, the worker, was the boyfriend that I got to experience in the prologue. He was dating Tanya.
I saw him.
The picture?
Briefly. No, in the prologue, because they did a shot of her. So they did a shot of him in the car.
Okay.
So I recognized him as a character, but I didn't put two and two together that he was Vince or the stranger. And then and then near the end there, like I saw the locker.
That's right.
Photo, and I was like something, and I'm like, oh, Tanya, like Tanya and Vince, like, oh, that's the boyfriend. So I gathered that much. So that was really cool how that got pieced together. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know if like there's some decisions I made in the prologue because I kind of went with the affection. I wonder if that affected that locker scene to put that code in there for the other player or something. The heart,
maybe.
Right?
Maybe. I have a lot more to say, but I feel like I want to finish. I just want to finish what the curator has to say.
Sure, let's come back.
So let's come back. So let's go ahead and continue.
Yeah.
And then just finish this out, and then we can share the rest of our thoughts.
Sure. Because I don't see how you save all of them. I just don't.
You're done. For now, at least.
So meta.
You could always try again and see if you can get a different result. That's the problem with demons. If you don't lay them to rest, they will haunt you forever.
Oh, I have a comment on that. If you can remind me.
Some found redemption, some didn't.
Yeah, that piece right there, redemption.
Thank you, curator. Thank you.
I'll explain why I think John survived. It just reminded me.
Found the bus driver.
Yeah, we did.
Maybe he can now put the past behind him.
Oh, I love the sound design. You hear the leather on the couch, even him getting up, that little detail.
Oh yeah. Whew, wow.
I love how you did that when he blew out the candle.
He's got quite a hiney.
He does. I noticed that the last break. It's like those pants. Nice.
Arabian Desert.
Somewhere else.
Oh,
Arabian
that's
Desert.
alluding to something there.
But we will.
I'm sure we will.
There might be a trailer at the end of this too. I don't know if
I'm positive there will be.
Yeah, okay.
I'm positive.
Because we saw it last time, right?
Yeah, I'm positive. We know there's at least 4. Yeah.
So the books.
Yeah.
Oh, is this like a lead into the trailer? Maybe. Hold on.
Maybe.
No. Okay, so we got the credits. So we can talk over the credits a little bit, so I don't forget my 2 thoughts. So one of them was, did you get the scene of when the smash of the floor happened, and it cuts to a character that we have never seen?
Yes.
Wasn't in the game. It was like it was either military or a diver, like a spelunker or a treasure hunter.
Never appeared. Interesting.
Well, I wonder if that's for the next game, and there was like a premonition there.
Yeah.
I don't know, right? Because like, how did he get that flash though? You know, like, because that would have. How was that into the continuity? Like when I rewatch it, maybe I'll try to pick something else up, but it threw me off big time because it wasn't any of the characters. Yeah. That's the second piece. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Comment on that first, and I'll talk about the John piece.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. Yeah, because I was thinking when I first saw it, I thought, well, maybe she's supposed to be rescuing us, like rescuing the survivors, and if we don't make the right decision, then she'll fall and she won't be able to rescue us. Because I was thinking it was something like in the Man of Medan, again, I'm spoiler alert for everyone who haven't played Man of Medan, like you can finish the game with everyone surviving, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you get rescued, unless you get or are actually like saved if you don't get that piece of equipment for the boat. I forgot what it is, but there's a part where you have to get a piece, and we didn't get it, unfortunately. Like
transistor transceiver,
That's right, because then what happened was, because we didn't get it at the end of the credits, it showed that all the kids were like in jail or something, like being held captive. So we didn't get the perfect ending because of that. So I was wondering if it was similar to that, where even if we all survive, you still don't get the perfect ending.
I see what you mean.
If you don't do such and such that ultimately prevented that girl from dying. So
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also wonder, like, what would happen if in that last scene we did blame the girl? Like, that had to have led to something bad, like terrible. Something would have come of that, you know what I mean?
I feel like it sounded like we did everything perfectly. And we followed the curator's advice. Like, the curator said, I'm not supposed to help you, but he definitely did in this case. Because I think we kept pushing that it wasn't the girl's fault. And there was a part where it prompted me and asked if I should tell Abraham, who is Andrew's counterpart. It said, should I tell Abraham to attack Carver or to attack the doll, like to attack the puppet? And so I kept targeting Carver, because I felt like, sure, the doll makes sense too if you want to say that the doll is the actual source of evil, but I felt like if I was really following what the curator was saying, it was like nothing with the girl. Like, the girl is innocent, even her doll is innocent. So I was like trying very hard to just ignore anything associated with Mary and just focus on the priest. And that was the thing. So, and I think probably what would have happened is if we did not do everything perfectly, there would have been like a bunch of cut times that would have killed like all three of us or something to that effect.
I think so, maybe. I think so. I'm kind of curious. I mean, I can't wait to see how the Let's Plays at this point, just because I want to see what all the I just want to see how this stuff plays out, because it did feel impossible at times. And it's not saying that it was impossible, right? It's just it felt impossible. Like, the feeling of impossibility is sometimes like you just like you give up, you know, because of that feeling. The piece with John I wanted to talk about is that when I had a choice to make when the mallet scene happened and he leans up against the door, and then I basically chose the one where he sacrifices himself. He's just go because in my head I was like, that was the redemption piece. It felt like what the curator was sort of alluding to is that we have to kind of catch our own demons. The demons was that he's always run away first. He never holds back and lets other people save themselves. And so I wanted to do a reversal to see what would happen and just like take him out of the game. At this point I was like, that'd be a cool ending for the guy, you know. He goes heroic and we're good. Then that spun around, and I think that's actually what saves him. So because he doesn't get that extra scene against the demon, because he actually faces his own inner demons, and it's actually decision making that will remove the demons from chasing you, you know.
Right, because I think I remember seeing that photo that showed that part with the hammer, and I was thinking, when you were making that decision, I was like, I knew what the decision was. I knew the decision was to either stay put or to run off with us. And I, at the time, felt like, I bet you what the vision from the photo was trying to tell us is he has to stay by the door. Like, that's how we interpreted it, was like, he needs to stay by that door and not run off from the door. So I was hoping that's the decision you made. And when you did, I was like, I think Shay's okay. I think Shay's okay since he chose not to run off with us. And I was right. So...
Now, there was a flashback with Anthony and the gun. Did you ever see that flashback?
Yes.
Okay, where he has the gun up against his temple.
Yes.
Okay, so
yes.
Okay, I thought I ruined it. So that scene that wasn't an option. I wonder if that was the end scene. It's like, this has all gone so bad that the only way he can save this is shoot himself. Because he ends her from right. He self-sacrifices to protect the girl.
Yeah, because I don't think I recognized that person. I thought was like, is that John without his glasses?
Oh no!
But you're right. Now that you pointed it out, I was like, yeah, I think that was the bus driver.
Found the gun.
I didn't put two and two together, and I have a feeling a lot of players maybe did not recognize him as the bus driver.
It felt like a John because it looked older, like you said. You look at it and it's like, that's not
older white guy, but I'm like, no, not.
Here we go.
Oh,
it is. Oh, nice and clear. I like the. There she is. There she is.
Yep.
You are under attack by I don't know what.
Oh, I like the color change, to be honest. Oh, don't do the dark. Damn it. This is cool.
Wow, this is gonna be interesting.
It is. It's like a bit of an Indiana Jones, Tomb Raider.
Deep underground in the House of Ashes,
Oh, nasty.
where they lived on dust, plagued by the demons of the underworld.
Of course.
Oh god, they do the grudge sound. That's the grudge gurgle.
House of Ashes. 2021.
Every year they're coming
There
up
we
with
go.
one, huh?
All right.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
I have to say, this is interestingly enough, the solution, the end of this second game was again also not practical but real world. It wasn't actually, the horror of these games isn't actually supernatural horror.
Yeah.
You caught that? So like in the first game, right, it's like a somewhat pollen thing, whatever it was, that messes people's perception. This one, it was all in one guy's head. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Essentially, the guy keeps reliving. So yeah, it's kind of I feel like that's kind of a pattern that we can expect. I think it's going to be something that is presented to be supernatural, but the twist is that no, there's probably something mundane behind this.
Yeah, that's the part that I'm a little confused by, because in the prologue it implied that there was this demon creature that was speaking to Megan.
Yeah,
telling
and
her to reach the family.
And the childhood sketch of it on the wall. I don't know if you could, yeah.
So was that not true?
That's what I think. I think there's a mix of things going on here, and I think they get revealed depending on the choices you make. I think both of us are going to get flat-footed with that one, because I feel like you don't put a signal like that in the prologue and then in the ending, right? With the even the children's graphic, the drawing. You're like, no, I think that's the whole mirror indicator, right, in narrative, where you're like, yeah, there's probably something there, right?
Maybe it was illusion. Like maybe it was all in his head that the drawing was there.
Oh, I see what you mean. He painted the picture that she was being talked to.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess what I like is that it's open to interpretation.
Yeah, I think maybe they intentionally do that, and that's why that tome that the curator looks at is so thick. It's all the iterations.
Right.
All the ways this can go.
You could clearly, there is an element of this is all in this guy's head. There is that. But it still leaves you questioning, but does that mean everything in this story was completely non-supernatural, or is there still something to, like, the child Megan and the witch and all that good stuff, the witches? So do you think that all of the stuff that happened, like back in the with the Puritans back in the 1700s, do you think that also was in his head, like all of that, those storylines was in his head as well?
That's the thing, because I was going to say you've seen the objects, but again, we see the objects from his perception of in his head. But it's, if those dolls are around and the markings, then I mean the events happened. But did he stitch a story around it all? I don't know. I do think that there's another layer of this that is definitely, even like the Reverend. I don't fully believe that the Reverend was just like a dipshit as a human. Like I think there might have been something else there. In the first scene with him and the girl, there was an allusion alluding to something like a little bit more cynical. I don't know if you caught the scene or if you had the scene, but he says something like, don't talk about this. Like he has that kind of talk to her. Don't talk about this. And then he says something like, and the other thing. And I was like, what's the other thing? Right? So it's like, I don't know, was that the sketches in the Bible? Are you doing something else here? Are you like, you know what I mean? Is there something like more? Yeah. So when you went to, or wasn't you that went and whispered into the dude's ears at the end, in the end scene? Was it just to show the Bible? Like you handed off the Bible and
when I whispered to his ear, I could either say Carver is the one who is the enemy, or there's something strange going on in this town, which I think is supposed to allude to Mary's the one that's behind it. So I was afraid that if I chose the vaguer one, it was going to somehow be twisted to Mary. So I was just like direct and said, no, it's Carver, the priest. And then after that choice, there was the choice of, do you attack Carver or do you attack the doll? That was the second one. And I think those were the two like answers I was supposed to take in order to get the best outcome.
And you know what? Now that I'm thinking of Carver and wearing black with the collar, and then the children drawing of they looked like a demon, but it was wearing black. I wonder if she was seeing him.
Yes, because
that sounds crazy. So there might be an angle to this,
right? Well, because what was the demon telling him? The devil, telling her it was it was like, you know, your family needs to be punished. Your family needs to be punished, and that's what
because she was seeing that history,
right?
Oh, okay. So wait.
Yeah.
Oh my god, so in the 70s it was just that she ended up falling victim because she was in that other period as a survivor, and she wait. Oh, that's messing me up, because then that removes us from Anthony's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, time to watch other people's Let's Plays and see what's going on here. Are you playing this again?
I plan on playing it again because I do
Yeah.
want to try to get a better ending. At minimum, save Daniel this time and do everything. I'm going to research and find out what I have to do to save Daniel. The really interesting thing is I see the locked traits on the screen.
Oh, I didn't check that yet. Yeah.
Well, I mean, whenever someone dies, it zooms into the monster's eyeball.
Yes.
And you see the traits, and all the traits were like locked still, which I think meant that was supposed to save such and such a character. But what I noticed, which I am very confused about, is all of the traits seem to be like the negative ones. Because for Angela, it was like abrasive and like whatever, sarcastic.
I know I made those calls though.
I'm sorry?
Oh, but you're saying they were locked, and I know
they were locked.
Okay.
They were locked, and then for Daniel, it was like he needed to be arrogant, and so it's almost like which doesn't make any sense.
Seems
like,
weird.
You have to be a d-bag,
right?
To be saved by the monsters. Like Daniel has to be a d-bag. Like really? That's the part that's really weird to me. So I would like to try again on my own and just try to beat it and see if maybe I'll see some of the scenes that you saw. And then, but I think for me, I feel a little bit better knowing that those characters actually didn't exist. Like Daniel and them didn't actually, they weren't even there to die. They were all in the guy's head.
They were already dead, and they were just memories. Yeah.
And the whole point of the whole thing was that the Anthony character was wishing he could change history, because that's something that Andrew, the character Andrew, realizes. Hey, we can change history and change the past, and that's part of the whole storyline with the bus driver Anthony forgiving himself, because he's like hoping, he has little hope of changing the past. Little hope left of changing the past, and so.
Yeah, I like the and now I'm having flashbacks of the scene with the alcohol again, because of course it would have been his father. That's why he says no to the drink. Oh man.
One thing I will say though is that you could have caught the twist at the very beginning, but I didn't think much of it because I thought it was a bug in the in the game. So remember how you mentioned how there were a bunch of times when Andrew was like, "You guys," when he said "you guys" at the end, when they were outside of the diner and everything. You guys at the end, I was like, it's only John. Why did you say you guys? So I thought maybe that's a bug where he says you guys because the game doesn't understand.
Doesn't know, right?
Because that happens all the time. That's the thing. I noticed that. But then I'm like, no, maybe that isn't a bug. That's on purpose because the guy on his head says you guys. But even before that, way before that, I caught something that I thought was a bug, and now I realize it wasn't a bug. It was a hint as to what the twist was. When you first see the very first scene, when you first see the bus driver get onto the bus, it showed that nobody was on the bus. I saw it. It was empty when he got on the bus.
Oh, wow.
So then when it cut to the part where he veers off the road, so that's why when the cop was like, when the cop stops him, the cop is like, hey, blah blah blah, you need to turn,
Crazy.
to a detour, and the bus driver says, oh well, I'm just trying to get us to safety or whatever, get us through the town. Part of me was like, wait, but the bus is empty. Like I actually, I don't know if I said it out loud, but I thought it.
Yeah.
And then later on, it cuts to the part where he sees the girl in the middle of the street, and then he swerves. And at that point, you do see clearly that there were people on the bus. At that point, they were on, and so then I was like, oh, maybe it was a bug. Maybe it was just a bug.
They were trying to save performance. They were trying to remove models from
performance if they didn't load. Right, they didn't. There were supposed to be people on the bus, but it didn't load. So I didn't think much of it. But now I'm like, no, that wasn't a bug. That was like a hint.
Little split second.
Right at the very first scene, because I was so confused. Why are there suddenly people on this bus? And now I know.
That's clever.
I know why.
It's that this game does deflection well. Like it distracts you just enough. It gives you just enough there where if you pick it up, you're gonna, But yeah, man, it was good. It was good.
Yeah. How did you think this compared to Man of Medan?
I think it's just based on the controls. I almost feel like I hate the gamepad, but I feel like the gamepad created a better experience for me. Even though I would have failed, I wouldn't have been frustrated while I was trying to succeed. I caught something strange with the mouse that was when I went for the target zone. I talked about this in my videos. I went for the target zone. It would be at 1 speed, and then when you got near the circle, it would slow down or buffer, or it was like going through oil. And I'm like, but your brain thinks you're going to clear that because you're just your relational movement of the mouse, right? You're going to get that extra millimeter because that's what the pace you've been at with the hand. So okay, so it wasn't just my side. That was
I noticed that too.
I would say that's a critical bad, like losing a lot of points for that. But I know it's the might have been the case in the other game. I just didn't experience it because I used a different gamepad. But that would be my biggest complaint. I would say, like, between the two, I probably like Medan better, to be honest. I think there was just the interactions in Medan where, I don't know, there was something about the scenes in those ones that they were definitely creepier. They felt creepier to me. This one felt like more like an adventure horror where you're like, yeah.
I think I agree with you. I think I enjoyed Man of Medan more. I think that I enjoyed the cast more.
I think that's it.
Medan. I felt like the characters were more likable in Man of Medan compared to Little Hope. I do like the twist in Little Hope way more. I enjoyed the twist way more.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, and just the overall premise of the plot where you're going back and forth through time. It seems like these different timelines are merging, and you're noticing all these connections between the different versions of these supposedly reincarnated characters. So yeah, I think the story elements I like more in Little Hope, but the cast and the characters I like more in Man of Medan.
Yeah. I have to agree.
And then I feel like even though the gamers or the developers say that they made the controls easier, the gameplay easier in Little Hope, I don't agree with that. I think they made it harder, at least for me. Mostly because we were forced to do point and click today.
That was so bad. It was so bad. It felt terrible every time. The swinging, like the combat, eventually I got the hang of that slowdown going into the circle, but it was annoying. But it was the other ones. The other ones were way too fast, and not knowing where your mouse was terrible. Yeah, don't need to harp on that for too long, because I was screaming at one point, a couple points in my LP. Like my volume got a little loud there because I was getting that legitimate frustration where it's like I don't even know how to react here or what to say. It's the horror of the game is that quick time event. It's not even the game fear anymore. I'm getting this tense feeling and I'm getting this anxiety over just having to take this action. I don't think that's the intention of the game, damn it.
Exactly.
So
I agree with you there.
You keep your cool way better than I do. So there's I don't know. I think I have it. I tend to be able to block things out when I know that certain characters' lives are on the line. I'm like, okay, I can't be scared by this. I need to focus. Daniel, for the 18th time, for real,
not to get hit again. And
why Daniel?
Why
is it because he was the wait? Did you say he was the cousin that went into the attic? It was Daniel.
Daniel, his counterpart was the one who went in the attic.
So is it because he was the mean guy, and so it's he could go? Let's give him all these options to go.
But I think Daniel and I think Daniel and Andrew are meant to be the more likable characters of the five, because I feel like people have their reservations about Angela and Taylor and John for various reasons, but I feel like other than, I guess again it's how you roleplay them, but you can, other than role-playing Daniel to being an arrogant, a typical arrogant jock, I don't see anything like a problem with him. So That's probably why they always attack the ones that you like, I guess, or the likable ones.
I like how they flipped the script there, because I did feel like he was going to be the character that was going to be that trope, and he wasn't, you know. And so I'm like, did they want? That was the whole thing, is like you'd start by playing him as that flipped up collar jock jerk, right? And then as you play the game, you kind of rectify on that so that you can swing to that more compassionate personality, and maybe that, you know, you unlock things as you go, but you're doing that progression with the characters, and maybe that's important to that impossible death scene.
Well, what I also find interesting is that it's being implied that those characters that we know in the quote unquote present never existed in the first place.
Yeah.
Which means their personalities never existed in the first place.
That's true.
Which makes you wonder, since all of this
right
Anthony's heads, like I noticed that Daniel is the exact opposite personality wise of his cousin, the one who went into the attic.
Yeah, okay.
But I wouldn't say that Angela was the exact opposite of the mom, or that John was complete. I mean, John and the dad were very different in that John was, I think, less of an alcoholic, or at least like in this time he wasn't as much of an alcoholic. But I felt like, I'm just curious, like where those personalities came from, or just those the personalities that he wanted to instill.
I think so.
Incarnation. And so I guess he wanted Taylor to be. Yeah,
maybe that might be the twist here of how this thing plays out. Right now that you know it's in his head, you're like, maybe you watch the prologue again and you start to get a snapshot of like what he last remembers their personality being, and then that's kind of what drives the story of his memories of that flashback. And then do you turn those around?
Right.
Do you start? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's like a hidden mechanic in the game just to mess with you some more.
all of the choices that we made on how those characters responded and reacted to things were the choices that Anthony, the bus driver, was making, because he was the one who was dictating how these characters that never actually existed, these people who never existed, like behaved, which I think is really interesting, really interesting conceptually. What did you think about our method of playing this game versus Medan, where we like,
hey, it wasn't that bad. It strangely enough, it was not that bad. I thought it would be more disruptive in a strange way, but it kind of, things were well timed. I never, I felt like when you were wandering around and I could have clicked on something like a door or something, I was like, give Ark some time, and I feel like it worked out really well.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can hear from like what your Let's Play was like, you're basically thinking about what I'm doing, even though you don't know and you can't hear it. And I'm doing the same for you, and I'm apologizing ahead of time. Right. So there's like another dynamic that did get introduced to the experience that I thought was pretty amusing. So
yeah, I think one thing they should do for 2-player co-op is they should give you the opportunity to read over somebody's shoulder. Because when
I did that once though, dude, you were picking something up. Yeah. I clicked at the same time and then it just read over your shoulder.
But I couldn't see the text. Like normally they
okay, fair enough.
It was hard for me to read what you were reading because it doesn't show the text on the side.
I agree with that then. Yeah.
They should let you be able to see the text so that you can read while someone else is reading. But
yeah, agreed. Yeah.
Anyway, anything else, Shay, before we close?
No, I think I'm good. We definitely covered all the bases as far as I can tell. So yeah, another one down. It looks like one a year for 4 years. So halfway through.
Congratulations on surviving. Congratulations on keeping. I mean,
for real, the effort I went through to just succeed on Daniel.
No, you did what you were supposed to do. You kept Daniel alive. I kept Daniel alive.
My one task.
You were apparently supposed to make him a D-bag this whole time. Save him at the end. I'm gonna have to put that up. But
yeah, I'm probably doing the same tonight, to be honest.
Right. Other than turning him into a D-bag, we did our job with both Daniel and Andrew. So props to you. Thank you for once again being willing to submit yourself.
Go into a horror game just for you.
Go into a horror game just for me. I appreciate that, Shay. I know that's a lot.
No problem. It was a lot of fun.
My apologies ahead of time when you watch my LP and I'm like, Shay, you better not Shay. Don't you dare kill Daniel, Shay. No, my apologies ahead of time.
That's all good. I felt it in my spirit. I could hear you across borders. It was.
I do love, for all of Shay's fans, I do love Shay dearly. He is one of my closest friends. I do. Yes, I'm just giving a hard time because we're just very close. So
I own it. I'm good.
And thank you everyone for watching. we're definitely looking forward to hopefully doing this again in 2021 for the Dusk. I forgot what it was called, but it looks really interesting.
Ashes of something. I don't know.
Yes. And yeah, I don't know if Shay's gonna replay this on his channel. I probably will replay this on my channel myself.
I'm just gonna watch yours. I'm good.
Okay. I probably will. We'll see. It depends on again, like how much time I have, because Cyberpunk 2077 is coming.
It is.
It's delayed, but it's coming. But happy Halloween. Well, actually, by the time this video comes out, Halloween will be past. But
yes, that's true.
Belated Halloween, or if you watch this again near the next Halloween, happy Halloween regardless. And yeah, thank you.
That's it. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Thank you very much once again, Hark, for having, and yeah, I'll see you next year.